Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, is the official companion podcast to the upcoming MPB original documentary, focusing on the life of Medgar Evers. The companion podcast, hosted by me, Rita Brent, will feature in-depth conversations, extended interviews, and exclusive archive footage not shown in the documentary. Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, video and audio episodes premiere September 18th. Find it on mpbonline.org or wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The nation's longest-running traveling celebration of traditional arts, the National Folk Festival, comes to downtown Jackson for the first time, November 7th through the 9th. A fun-filled weekend for the entire family, exploring roots, richness, and variety of American culture. Non-stop music and dance, folk life demonstrations, hands-on children's activities, signature Southern foods, crafts, and more showcasing the best of America, the best of Mississippi, all free. We'll see you in November. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Good morning. Welcome to Deep South Dining right here on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White with Carol Palmer. Good morning, Carol.
Morning, Mal.
How are you?
It's Bastille Day. It's July 14th.
Oh, my goodness. I
and
saw
also
somewhere.
The birthday of the Palmer twins.
Really? It's John's birthday?
It is John and
Happy
Jim's birthday.
to John and Jim.
Yes, yes.
That's great.
The Palmer twins of Corinth, Mississippi.
And I saw somewhere in Jackson there is a Bastille celebration. What's the French restaurant out in Ridgeland?
Anjou.
Anjou. I think I saw that they have a celebration with some music and some Bastille festivities going on. I don't know. Just Google it, or if you're interested. But anyway, what's going on?
Happy Monday.
Thank you. Very, very happy Monday to you.
Mal.
Yes.
You and Leanne Galt made quite the splash in Vicksburg this weekend. I was reading an article that was in the Vicksburg Post that y'all packed them in a packed house at the Catfish Row Museum. The executive director says, we've never seen it quite this busy.
It was wild. It was standing room only, and they even turned some people away. There were people from Jackson, from Greenwood, from Greenville, from Yazoo City. There were people there who were on the riverboats, who were in town. I think one was from Minnesota, and I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Leanne and I hosted one of their chef summer series. In fact, Enrica is next week. Next Saturday's Enrica, followed by Taylor Ricketts.
Taylor Bowen Ricketts.
Which is the last of the series. But anyway, Leanne Galt, the great and wonderful Leanne Galt, and I presented this past Saturday. And the museum, the Catfish Row Museum, is really great. It's an African-American museum in downtown Vicksburg, right on the river. The name comes from the great quote from David Cohen, the Greenville author, who said famously that the Mississippi Delta begins in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel and ends in Catfish Row in Vicksburg. So
well, there you have it.
So anyway, Leanne cooked catfish piccata with a rice cake under. She had started out, she was going to do 2 dishes, but she ended up doing 1 dish. And her son Noah came along as the sous chef, thank goodness. And so they prepared everything there. Typically, when they have these chef series, they bring the food in pre-prepared, but Leanne showed up and cooked everything there.
Wow.
On site. So it was a lot of fun, huge crowd. We had a blast. And as you say, it was supposedly their largest crowd, but either way, Rick and Liz were there. Cynthia and Kent Miller were there. It was a great crowd.
Well, I want to hear a little bit about the catfish piccata. That's pretty fascinating.
She panade it on a skillet, lightly floured it and panade it in butter and oil.
Was there lemon involved, like in normal piccata?
Yes, the sauce, the piccata sauce, of course, was lemon, white wine, butter. Instead of capers, and this is why I love Leanne Galt so much, instead of capers, she pickled lady peas and used them instead of capers. Oh, my goodness.
It was Mississippi catfish piccata.
I mean.
Because capers, lemon, and butter are integral to
That's
the
right.
to the piccata dish. But leave it to Leanne.
Now, the rice cake was an homage to Crisanti's restaurant in Memphis, where they have a dish called the Elfo Special. With it's shrimp, mushrooms over a pasta. But Leanne smushed all that into a rice cake, the black rice of Two Brook Farms in the Mississippi Delta.
She does love rice, and she does love to promote Two Brooks Farms.
So she made a a rice cake with this black rice. Is it the sable, the black rice?
Yeah, the sable.
The black rice with shrimp, mushrooms, and built it into a cake.
Within the cake.
Yes, all inside the cake. And then the cake was cooked, battered with panko, then served down, and then the catfish piccata served on top of the black rice cake.
Oh, just the black rice cake sounds
really yummy.
Delicious.
Really
I
yummy.
could do that without the catfish.
That old
It
Leanne.
could be standing alone.
Yeah, it was delicious. And
But
we had a lot of
Leanne,
fun. We
not
talked a
only
lot about
great friend, but works for Viking Range, teaches many cooking classes at Viking Range. So
and is the co-creator of our website, Cooking and Coping.
Indeed, she is.
And speaking of cooking and coping, we had a nice explosion of cooking and coping this past week. Our friend Patrick Taylor went to eat at the Mosquito Supper Club. Okay, the Mosquito Supper Club in New Orleans, and reported about his meal. And Carol, from there, the rest is history.
Well, he mentioned the fact that he had a roux-less gumbo.
Yes.
And then he also mentioned, we'll talk about the roux-less gumbo,
Okay.
but what really caught my attention is there was comeback sauce involved in this.
With saltines.
With saltines, and the waiter trying to spin a yarn talked about it being a wonderful Louisiana dish. And Patrick comments, "Dude, you don't know who you're talking to. You're talking to a table full of Jacksonians.
Yeah.
You don't try to pull that on us."
Yeah, don't tell us where comeback came from. And so then there's like 100 posts.
128 comments.
After that, there's 128 comments mostly about comeback sauce and where it originated. But also this conversation about the gumbo being roux-less and whether that was a Cajun, Southwest Louisiana thing, or whether it's acceptable to have a roux-less gumbo. But it was a terrific thread. I was thoroughly entertained by all of the
one of the
posters.
writers said that in Melissa's first cookbook, the Mosquito Supper Club cookbook, she talks about roux-less gumbo, and that was a staple. She grew up down in
she should know
Plaquemine, and during weeknights it was a way to save time, for her mom. But lots of South Louisiana people chimed in about roux-less gumbo. But we didn't know.
No, and then there was even a bunch of comments about the potato salad in the gumbo and where did that come from. And there was this, that's a Cajun country thing. And then there was somebody who said, we've never done that in Cajun country. So it just is fabulous. Go to Cooking and Coping and follow Patrick Taylor's post about his meal at the Mosquito Supper Club in New Orleans. And Melissa M. Martin, the chef owner and cookbook author of two fabulous cookbooks. One is the Mosquito Supper Club, and the other one is Bio. And as I was telling you, the Mississippi Book Festival is working hard to bring Melissa Martin to the festivities this year.
Indeed, and we've certainly tried to get her and would love to have her on the show. We had her one time a few years ago.
COVID.
Before Zoom, during COVID, and the phone connection was going in and out. So I think we need a redo.
Yes. Sad news in the restaurant business. The T.C. Bolton restaurant has closed. They're right close to you in downtown Bolton. The Neals have decided that they're giving that up. A great little family restaurant there, open Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. Kind of a steak and seafood house. Really great. Walt Neal and his family owned and operated. But anyway, great loss. But he explained that this construction on I-20, which you know well, and I know well because I traveled it to Vicksburg and back yesterday, and it's incredible.
And it's been going on and on and on. And, we're happy for better highways, but it's been really tough on the businesses along 20 between Bolton and Flowers.
Well, what they're doing is they're rebuilding the bridge over
the Black River.
And so on one side, it's already been torn down, and they're starting to rebuild. It's going to take forever.
But, I-20 is a major east-west thoroughfare. And so, there are trucks backed up to Jackson some days. Yep.
Well, anywho, what else is happening in your world besides it's Johnny's birthday?
Well, we're just, living the good summer life out in Edwards. Lots of tomatoes, lots of
Now,
lady
you growing
peas.
tomatoes?
No.
Of course not. Okay.
Of course not.
I did quiz the audience in Vicksburg at the Catfish Row Museum about their tomatoes. How was everyone's tomatoes coming? And overwhelmingly, there was this discussion that we've had too much rain and the tomatoes are not doing well.
Well, when it comes to tomatoes, I believe in having friends and neighbors who grow tomatoes.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Especially when you live out in places where there are so many deer environments that just eat everything. We've tried a couple of gardens, and I just didn't have the patience or the fortitude. I'm protecting right now my figs and pears.
Yes. Well, the nightshades. This is the season of the nightshades.
Right.
And that's anything with a pith. That's zucchinis, that's
Eggplant.
cucumbers, that's eggplants, it's tomatoes, and on and on and on the list goes. But 'tis the season of the nightshades, and you have trouble with your varmints in the country. In the city, we've got these squirrels who have PhDs.
They're wily.
And we have birds and squirrels with master's degrees flying around the yard. They all went to Bellhaven or Millsap.
I know.
And you can't even begin to outsmart these things. They went through my meshing to get to my Creole tomatoes.
I will tell you, back in the many years ago, there was it's the squirrel-proof bird feeder. You can find it on some expensive catalogs. At the time, they were like $150, and we would sell them at the Everyday Gardener. And inevitably, people would bring photographs in and want their money back because the squirrel could get through the squirrel-proof bird feeder.
You had
They're
to
amazing.
refund their purchase price because the squirrels had penetrated. Of course, they penetrated.
They can just get into tiny little places.
I'm telling you, squirrels could dominate the world.
How are your tomatoes?
Actually, pretty good. They may have already played out. They were early. I've probably gotten a dozen to 15 Creoles off of these vines that Malin McAdams gifted me with. But my purple, what are they called? The big purple ones.
The heirloom tomatoes?
The heirlooms. Yeah, they haven't done jack. So I'm still waiting.
John gets confused and calls them antique tomatoes.
Antique,
He can never remember the word heirloom.
Heirloom. But what do they call purple? Creole purple? I mean,
Cherokee. Cherokee purple. Mm-hmm.
But I've had much better success with the Creoles, and I really like the Creoles.
Good.
Anyway.
Well, I've got a bunch of eggplant coming today from Donna Barksdale's house.
Good for you.
So I'm going to...
I've got an eggplant.
Yeah, I think I'm going to...
I got my first load from David Patterson last week of tomatoes, eggplants, squash, peppers. Delicious.
Sounds like ratatouille.
It does sound like ratatouille. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? July the 14th. I just wish Java were here. July the 14th is National Mac and Cheese Day. You know he would love that.
I mean, go figure, in the middle of the summer, Mac and Cheese Day.
I don't know where these food-related holidays come from, but we are happy to have them.
I think there's some national council, and you have to sign up to get a day. Like National Cow Day was last week.
We had fun with Cow Day. All right, we've got Chico on the phone. Chico Harris from the Oxford Tupelo area, our Northeast Mississippi correspondent. What's up, Chico?
Good morning. All this talk about birthdays reminded me that today is the birthday, 1912, of my spirit animal, Woody Guthrie. And if anyone is ever, if anyone is ever in Okemah, Oklahoma, his hometown, his birthplace, Fat Boys Burgers are the ones to get. I always thought it was odd when you see a name like that on a restaurant, but this place has been around for about 30, 35 years that I know of, so they're doing something.
Well, Chico, you are the master of oddness. So if there's a burger out there that you can sniff it out better than anyone I know, or if there is a fried chicken out there somewhere, you're on it big time, and we appreciate that about you.
And I love it that
also,
Woody Guthrie is your spirit animal. I just,
that's true.
I wish we could just go into a rendition of "This Land Is Your Land" this morning.
Yeah.
It's also the birthday of Dick Waterman, who we lost a couple
I loved
years ago.
Dick Waterman.
Great photographer.
Blues scientist.
Yes, a great friend to musicians.
No doubt.
There's a fantastic Muddy Waters store out there, but how much Muddy Waters appreciated him. And he when he was managing musicians, he made it a point to see that they got the food they wanted. They had access when he was traveling around, but they wanted fried chicken. They didn't want the smoked salmon.
Yeah, oh, I see.
Exactly.
Now, he managed Sun House. He also managed Bonnie Raitt. And I think
Big Mama Thornton.
Big Mama Thornton. This guy, unfortunately, has passed, but was a living legend. Retired in Oxford and spent his, 20 or so last
30.
year, 30 years there.
A little over 30 years.
Loved Dick Waterman. He used to call me on a regular basis, and he'd want to do shows together. He said, "I'll take the Thursday in Oxford, and you can have the Friday or Saturday in Jackson." And we used to do all sorts of shows together, and I deeply respect Dick Waterman, great photographer.
And he was a great help to us when we founded the B.B. King Museum, of course.
Yes.
I mean, he was a treasure trove of information.
Lovely
so lots
human.
of birthdays today.
Let me tell y'all what I called about.
Oh, I see. Go ahead.
Last night, speaking of great Mississippi musicians, last night, Alvin Youngblood Hart, Muscle Theory, his band, played, after playing at Change in Tupelo on Saturday night, last night they played in southern Marshall County at the Foxfire Ranch. And it was just the most wonderful, perfect evening. Around 6 o'clock, the band was playing, the gloam was coming on, everybody sitting around was full of greens and catfish and cornbread. And we were all so happy. And, there's kind of communal tables, and there was this fellow sitting next to me, and I commented to him. I said, this just doesn't get much perfect in this. This is just wonderful out here. Everything is perfect. And he said, it absolutely is. It's like we died and went to Mississippi.
Chico Harris, man, we always appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for listening to our show and being a part of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio. Carol, we're going to take a break. When we come back, our special guest today is Beth Hennington, the Vanillan. She makes cookies, and we're going to talk about cookies upon our return. And we thank you for listening. And if you would like to join the conversation, it's simple and it's toll-free, and it's 1-877-672-7464, or you can shoot us an email to food@mpbonline.org. More Deep South Dining right after this brief pause.
Together through the years. Together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The nation's longest running traveling celebration of traditional arts, the National Folk Festival, comes to downtown Jackson for the first time, November 7th through the 9th. A fun-filled weekend for the entire family, exploring roots, richness, and variety of American culture. Non-stop music and dance, folk life demonstrations, hands-on children's activities, signature Southern foods, crafts, and more showcasing the best of America, the best of Mississippi, all free. We'll see you in November. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining right here on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White, Carol Palmer. How are
We're
you,
thinking
Carol?
cookies, Mal.
Cookie monster.
I know. It's a cookie show.
So we cannot have a cookie show in this studio without bringing in the assistant director of radio and our own cookie meister, Kevin Farrell. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, Malcolm. Carol, how y'all doing?
Now, Carol, as we know, and some of our listeners know, we've talked about this a few times, every Monday, Kevin shows up with cookies for the staff. And he's been doing this now for how long, Kevin?
This would be batch 178. So I've missed.
You know,
I have
that's
some
commitment. That's real commitment, Kevin.
That's the kind way of putting it, I think.
Now, he always brings cookies, and they're always different. And part of the story is when you decided to start doing this, you were reading a novel about someone who baked cookies. Is that
right? It was a series, and the protagonist of it's a cozy mystery. So it's kind of like Murder, She Wrote, where it's funny. She lives in this very small town in Minnesota, but people die all the time. But anyway, she runs a cookie shop, and so if the character in the story bakes whatever cookies, the author included the recipe in the book itself. So as I was listening or reading them, I always thought, that's kind of cool. But every time I would look at them, it'd be like, makes 10 dozen. And I thought to myself, you don't need to be eating 10 dozen cookies.
But you can.
Well, given the choice, I would eat 10 dozen cookies. And then I remember that it started that a coworker and I were just talking about, I guess, favorite cookies or whatever. And I went back and looked at my list. So I baked oatmeal raisin cookies were the first ones because that's one of my favorite cookies. And so it was popular, and it was one of those things where it just kind of, expanded and kept on. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to break the streak now. So.
Right. And last week, you and I had a nice discussion about the cookie that you brought because you used zucchini in the cookie. And it is, again, we mentioned this in the first segment, the season of the nightshade. So you found a sort of auxiliary use for the zucchinis, which are coming out our ears this time of year. Yeah,
it added a nice texture and color to the cookies, I thought. And I don't think anybody could taste it. I mean, people who like it might, but a lot of people at first when you think, oh, zucchini in a cookie, but like zucchini bread and things, I think it lends itself well to the sweet stuff.
They were really
good.
But
I love it that, you bring them in a container, you put a sign of what the cookie of the day is. And as Malcolm and I are waiting to go on the air, we see people swarming from outside of the building, inside of the building to see what the cookie of the day is. And I have to say, today's cookie was one of my favorites you've ever done. It was a lemon cookie. Mm-hmm. I've already bragged on you because, the lemon taste was perfection, but it was the consistency of the cookie that spoke to me. Not too hard, not too soft. Tell me how you did the cookie.
Well, it's interesting because one thing is I never know exactly how they're going to come out when they're in the oven. These had some. It was fairly simple recipe, but I did put a lot of zest in there. It was supposed to be a tablespoon of zest, but I had a large lemon and a small lemon, so I zested both of them. Add a little bit of fresh lemon juice to them, and they're crinkle cookies, so they're the ones that are rolled in the powdered sugar, and so that adds that little kind of crinkled appearance to them. But one tip I found from this particular recipe is that to make more of the powdered sugar stay on the cookie after the baking process is you first roll the cookie in some granulated sugar and then in the powdered sugar. And I thought that helped out a lot. And then I do have a new oven, so I'm more confident that what a recipe calls for, whatever time it is, that if I stick those in there, that I should get the desired result.
You heard that tip here. The rolling in the sugar and the powdered sugar.
Afterwards.
Confectioner sugar, I like it.
All right, we want to welcome Beth Hennington
Speaking of cookies.
to the show. She's a fearless entrepreneur who swapped warranty deeds for piping bags. She's the proud owner of once upon a time, a bustling mortgage company, and she traded that in for decorating cookies. She's the owner-operator and the mastermind behind the Vanillan in Madison. And welcome to the show, Beth.
Thanks for having me. I have to say something about these cookies as well, because sitting out there, I kept noticing these people would come to this desk behind me, and I'm like, they would come and then they would leave, and then they would come, and I was like, well, what is going on behind at this desk? And then one lady stopped and she's like, every time they go, I'm like, what is going on? So I turned around and they were like, you don't know about Mondays and the cookies? I'm like, no. So they were like, told me that every Monday you bring cookies, and then somebody said, look, there are people that we never see that swing by this building on Mondays.
Yeah, they work in the complex.
Exactly.
They don't work at MPB, but they do like the cookies.
Or they're just driving down Ridgewood Road.
Well, if y'all see me next Monday, it's because now I know about the cookies.
So, Beth, tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, who your people are.
Who my people are? Well, I grew up running the streets of the Big E, Edwards, Mississippi. Wow. Yes, and I grew up there. It was a fairy tale childhood. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of bare feet, no shoes. Come in when the street, there really weren't any street. I think it was just when it got dark, chasing the fog machines behind. That may be why
we all have
today.
DDT in our brains.
Exactly. So it was like I was about 13, and my grandmother was like, hey, this kid can draw. So she sent me to Mississippi College, and I took painting classes from White Waters.
Oh, boy. There's some credentials.
Yeah. And so that's where my love for painting came from. Wyatt. I mean, he's Wyatt. He's amazing. Yes, and so art's always been in my life in some shape, form, or fashion. It's just been my side hustle. And, because those bills, they come every month, and energy wants a check, So I honestly have been baking with my mother in the kitchen, like, to this day at Christmas, we pull peanut brittle, pour it on a marble slab, and pull it with wet rags. And so baking and cooking has always been, in my life. And then my daughter actually started these decorated cookies. And she made one. And this was about 7 years ago. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? She's like, have you not seen these cookies?
She saw it on the internet?
Yeah, because I don't think she was making them because she had seen it on the video somewhere. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, they're these decorated sugar cookies, Mom. And so once the sugar cookie and I met, it was like, because I
love at first bite.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm gonna use that. But because I had a mural business. I painted a 30-foot mural in the Metro Center.
Watching your video here right now. Go ahead.
Oh, are you? I painted a 30-foot mural in the Metro Center back when it was hot popping. Now I'm dating myself. Oh gosh.
Look at you.
And
hey, I worked in the Metro Center for a little while.
I did too.
There was a bar there called Judges, a bar and a restaurant. I think it started out as the Second Poets or something, Austin Grill or something. Anyway, go ahead with your story.
Yeah. No.
Enough about me.
Yeah. Yeah, the Metro Center. It was a good time. So, but like I said, when I met the cookie, that canvas for whatever reason was just like, it was a win-win. So my daughter went another direction. She got a 3D printer and started 3D printing cookie cutters. And I was like, I can't wrap my brain around that either. I'm going to need to see it because I'm thinking grandma's metal cutters, cookie cutters. She was like, no, Mom. God, you're so old. And so she FaceTimed me and she showed me. Fast forward now, because I started the cookie journey. She started the cookie cutter journey. Fast forward 7 years. She is now owns a cookie cutter business with about 100 3D printers that run 24/7, 15 employees, and she shipped cookie cutters to every country in the U.S.
Now, what is this
Where's
company?
it based?
It's out of Tuscaloosa. So my kids went to Roll Tide, went to the University of Alabama, and they stayed.
Somebody's got to go there.
Somebody's got to go. And so it's out of Tuscaloosa, so that's where she lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the name of the business?
Cut It Out Cutters.
Cut It Out Cutters.
So she hand draws all of her designs. She's got about 3,000. She's over 3,000 hand drawn designs that she makes cookie cutters and ships all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I still had the Everyday Gourmet, I'd place an order right now.
Oh, look at you, Carol.
Well, these are very cool, very festive. They're very thematic. Looks like you did the SEC.
Yes.
And Santa Claus and all sorts of fairy tales and
the Evil Queen from Snow White.
Sports, yeah.
So I am the Vanillan because it's the back of the Evil Queen, if you've seen my logo, from Snow White. I'm a huge Disney fan, and so a lot of my artwork or my cookies are Disney related.
Gotcha.
But that class you're talking about, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. But I was going to ask,
Yeah.
Kevin, do you know that this woman won $10,000
Wow.
for making cookies on the Food Network?
did.
It's something, Kevin, it's something to aspire to.
Absolutely.
I've got a pretty good cookie game, but I'm not up at that level. That's really amazing. And these would be, they look so good. And I say this as a big fan of cookies that you're almost afraid to want to eat them.
I feel the same way, but I give them, these people buy them and they eat them. And I'm like, okay, it's your cookie.
Well, so there is most of your business like people come with a theme for a party or a.
No, well, it
Or do
used
you
to
have a
be-
storefront?
No, I don't. So
Okay.
I operate under the Mississippi Cottage and Food laws.
Okay.
Out of my home, but my business has kind of evolved. It first started, I sold my first dozen for $35, and I have since apologized to that lady and remade her cookies because they were not near the lemon crinkle. They were not there yet. I have perfected them. So fast forward to now, I have a few custom orders that I do. I'm at 125 a dozen with a 2 dozen minimum. Have to have 100% creative freedom, and I take very few of those. And I mainly travel, speak, teach at CookieCon.
What's CookieCon?
There's an underground cookie world that you really know nothing about.
Kevin, do you know about CookieCon?
I'm listening, though. Very.
So CookieCon is an event every year where cookiers get together and we cookie.
Cookiers. Mal, this is a new world, Mal.
Brave New World.
Yes, buckle up. I mean, it is a hot mess. We get together and we have cookie classes. So it's this coming up. The next one is June of next year in Orlando.
And these are held, I would guess, in big conference facilities?
Yes.
And how many people? Thousands of people?
Yes. And so the last one we were in Reno. The one before that we were in Austin, Texas. We've been in Sandusky, Ohio. Just all over. It's different.
I'm looking at the website. My mind
And
is
you
blown.
present at the CookieCon?
I've been an elective teacher, an add-on teacher, a core instructor, and the closing speaker.
My goodness.
Yeah, at 4 different.
Who knew the worlds that exist out there that we know nothing about?
I know.
Now, primarily, are they these large sort of themed cookies?
These
or
are
they,
more of a showpiece kind of thing.
the big ones?
Yeah, the big ones. But if someone does a custom order, they're like 3 to 4 inches.
You're right,
And
sure.
and I love it for the art of it. I don't want to do 15 of the same cookie. I want to be one and done. So when someone orders a dozen from me, they get 12 different designs just because I don't want to do 2 of the same thing.
What's the toughest design you ever did?
The toughest design. The toughest one's probably when I just do a full, because all of my cookies are just white. They start out all white, and then I paint them. And so doing portraits, that's tougher.
Right.
But then like building shapes out of the royal icing is easier.
So the 3D is icing, or is
That
it
is
dough?
correct. No, it's icing.
Icing somehow
Royal
attached.
icing.
Royal icing.
Different
attached.
consistencies of.
Okay. Very cool.
So, yeah.
And what kind of paint? Is it just
It's food gel coloring.
Food gel coloring. Okay.
Now,
So I've gotten satin ice. I use a lot of satin ice. They their meringue powder. I've used every meringue powder on the planet, and just happened upon their new formula, and it's just, I'm a huge Satin Ice fan, and they just send me all the things, and I just use them.
Now, will all this talk about food coloring, outlawing food coloring, will that have any impact on you?
Oh, yes. So everyone that has the food coloring now is scrambling to do dye-free. And some of them have made it out already in the cookie world. You know, some of the companies have come out with a dye-free line.
So that's what will happen?
Yes, because
it's not like it'll go away. It'll just be dye-free.
That's right. Correct.
The old red dye number
6, yeah, whatever it is,
number
gotta
9,
go.
number 6.
I know.
Goodbye.
Running behind the fog machine and eating red dye. We shouldn't be here today. But
Exactly.
I want to talk to you about your base product. Did it take you a while to get perfect a dough to use?
Yes, it did. So yes, because when you roll out, I mean, when you bake a cookie, when I'm working with designs, I can't have the design spread. So it has to be a no spread roll cookie, period. Versus where, I love to make a drop cookie. I have a lemon cheesecake drop cookie that has a graham cracker crust, and it's delicious. But I can't do that if I'm doing these design cookies. So it did take a minute because you still want it to taste good and not like cardboard.
Right.
So it took a minute, but.
Well, I think it's very brave to name your business the Vanillan. And my other question is, what is your favorite vanilla?
It's Nielsen Massey.
Mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be.
When I first opened the Everyday Gourmet back in 1981, it was right when Williams-Sonoma first opened. It was a hardware store in Sonoma. And, he had this little catalog.
Right.
And he had Nielsen Massey Vanilla and Malden Sea Salt. And those were the two products that really caught my eye.
It does. It just elevates your game.
It does, because most of the vanilla in the grocery store is not really vanilla.
Is this Mexican vanilla? Where does this come from?
No,
there is a Mexican vanilla that's good.
Yeah.
It comes from Madagascar, all sorts of different places. But what you want to make certain is that it's true vanilla, not
vanilla extract.
Yeah, you want true vanilla.
Because most of it literally evaporates if it's not.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, do you have a favorite vanilla that you use?
McCormick, I guess.
And that's okay too.
Hey, I bet they sell a lot of that.
Yeah. But you use the pure, right?
Yeah.
See? I mean, and it's good.
Yeah.
All right. Got to take a short break. Come back with our guest, Beth Hennington, and Kevin Farrell will stick around if he's interested. He may have jobs to do around here. I don't know. We're talking cookies,
We're talking
folks.
cookies, Kevin.
So
you have to hang in here.
If you want to talk about cookies, ask questions, be a part of this conversation, we'd love to have you. 1-877-672-7464, and we'd be happy to get you some questions answered. We're going to take a short break and be right back with more Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, is the official companion podcast to the upcoming MPB original documentary, focusing on the life of Medgar Evers. The companion podcast, hosted by me, Rita Brent, will feature in-depth conversations, extended interviews, and exclusive archive footage not shown in the documentary. Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, video and audio episodes premiere September 18th. Find it on mpbonline.org or wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The nation's longest running traveling celebration of traditional arts, the National Folk Festival comes to downtown Jackson for the first time, November 7th through the 9th. A fun-filled weekend for the entire family, exploring roots, richness, and variety of American culture. Non-stop music and dance, folk life demonstrations, hands-on children's activities, signature Southern foods, crafts, and more showcasing the best of America, the best of Mississippi, all free. We'll see you in November. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio. Carol Palmer, Malcolm White, Kevin Farrell, and Beth Hennington are in the studio today, and we are talking about cookies. These are not your mama's cookies. These are otherworldly cookies.
Yes, indeed.
And Beth, you're out in Madison. You have this business, but you went on the Food Network and competed in a
in the Christmas Cookie Challenge.
Christmas Cookie Challenge.
Yes.
And how did that go for you?
Well, it went well, but
First of all, how did you get there?
Okay, so I went to my first Cookie Con. I think it was in Dallas, Texas. I can't remember. It's been a minute. 7 of them ago. And they were talking about this show called the Christmas Cookie Challenge. And I was like, what? I didn't even know what it was at the time. So went home, did a little research. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a cookier's dream, right? Like our Super Bowl, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I filled out an application, and at the bottom of the application it said a 3-minute optional video. I'm like, absolutely. So I called my husband, who is a fireman for Jackson. Now I call him Captain Cookie, and I whisper that because it's not an approved name, but he ain't here.
Okay. So
Captain Cookie, I called him and I said, come here, I need you. And he was like, I ain't doing it. I said, no, it said optional for me, not optional for you. So I said, I need you to dress up like Santa, and I want you to pretend like you fell out of the fireplace. I'm going to hit the stairs, and then, I'm going to Photoshop in some smoke, and you're going to look like you just appeared. And I want you to tell me that you have done my application on my behalf, and that if they don't choose me, you're going to do your thing, cold, bad, naughty list, whatever. And he was like, dear God, Beth, please. And I was like, no, just do it.
He said better or worse.
He did. And so.
And he got to be richer.
Listen, first of all, problem number 1, I didn't have a Santa suit, but I did have this really cool Saints beanie with a beard attached. So he really looked like he was there to rob the place. So it didn't start out well. It was a horrible video. So y'all, 3 years went by. I can't remember what I did last week. So I'd forgotten about it until one night at like 7 o'clock. Now, my husband and I, we're old, so we watch Wheel of Fortune and we go to bed. Whoever wins the wheel gets to go brush their teeth. The other one got to shut the place down. Okay, so I watch.
That's like a routine.
That's right. I watch the puzzles at 4:30 that he doesn't know about, and so I'm always pretty much brushing my teeth at 7. And so, except I got to let him win every once in a while so he doesn't get suspect, So then he comes in, and I get a phone call at 7. I'm in there brushing my teeth. And I'm like, who is calling the house at this hour? And my husband's like, it's 7. So I answer the phone, and there's a kid on the other end, and he is laughing. And I was like, hello, I think you may have the wrong number. He's like, no. I just watched the video, and it had been 3 years, but I knew exactly what video he was talking about. He was like, I don't know how this fell through the cracks, but we are dying. And we just wanted to know if you wanted to start the interview process to come on the Christmas Cookie Challenge. I was like, well, yeah. I sent it 3 years ago. Of course I do. He was like, okay, well, so we started. Y'all, 5 months and 6 interviews later. And then they even interviewed Captain Cookie. It was a hot mess. There were 10,200 and something applicants. And your girl got chosen. I was like, but they didn't tell me it had gone around to the next Cookie Con had come, and I'm in Reno, Nevada, about to walk into the bathroom stall. Now, who answers the phone when they're going to TT? Apparently me. Yeah. So the phone rings, and I'm literally walking into the bathroom stall, turn around, shut the door, and hello, like I'm sitting in my office, and she goes, this is so-and-so from the Food Network. We just want to let you know you've been chosen. I'm like, ah! I start screaming and yelling. Little lady next door, baby, you all right? You need some toilet paper? I'm like, oh, my God. No, hush. Like, I'm on the phone. Anyway, so fast forward to March of that year, and I fly to Knoxville, Tennessee. Get to Knoxville, Tennessee, which who knew there's a Discovery lot in Knoxville, Tennessee? So apparently these people from California fly for 2 weeks, and they tape a whole season in 10 days. So it's like, I had no idea, like, that this is how this really happened, you know? So we get there, and they take us onto the set. It's the middle of March, and I walk onto this set. Very, very, very few times in my life have I ever been speechless. And I walked on this set, and it was full-blown Christmas. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was as big as a football field. It just didn't look that big on TV to me. So I was like, oh dear God, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? So now there are 2 stations on the right, 3 on the left. So there are 5 bakers in there that are about to compete. They put me on the left in the middle. And in the middle, there are 50 cameras, some on riding things, some hanging, there's just cameras everywhere. And I'm like, oh dear Lord. So I walk around to my station, and there's a big guy, not a big guy, there's a guy with a big camera at every station, like holding it on his shoulder. And so I walk up, and I'm like, hey man, what's your name? And he looked at me like, I was like, I said, what's your name? And he said, Mike. I said, all right, Mike, look. Tell me it's not your first week, because I got a 3rd chin, and if I see that sucker on national television, I'm going to come home with you. And he was like, no, I got you. I was like, all right. He's like, but we usually don't talk. I was like, no, I do. And so it was really a hot mess from the jump. I don't think they really knew what to do with me. You know, people from the South, we talk to anybody and everybody.
We like to talk.
Yeah.
So what about your cooking and decorating classes? You do classes?
I do classes. I have one coming up July the 25th. We have a class at Shaggy's on the Res upstairs. So what it is that's when you saw the SEC teams earlier. Mm-hmm. So football starts next month.
I know.
Oh, my gosh. So you go on my website, buy a ticket, and you get to pick what team you want. I think I've got 6 teams to choose from. Okay. And you come to the class, and the cookie is already made, and it is already iced. And the things called royal icing transfers that we put on the cookie are off to the side, and they are white. So we're going to paint everything with food gel coloring with instruction. And there's a open bar upstairs. Well, not open, like it's a cash bar. So you can get yourself a drink. I will provide a nacho bar, fried pickles, whatever that Shaggy's is going to have that night, and it's just going to be a good time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tell our listeners where they can find you and more information about you and what you do.
I am the Vanillan. And on all social media platforms, I'm at the Vanillan. It's vanilla with an N on the end of it. My website is thevanillan.com. My email is beth@thevanillan.com. I'm pretty easy to find.
All right. So, Kevin, what cookies do you now know what next Monday's cookies will be, or do you do all of your pondering about what to do during the weekend before?
Yeah, I've had several cookie cookbooks that I've kind of gone through, but a lot of times, like I think for the zucchini cookies, I just Googled summertime cookies or something along those lines. I've not done, and someone asked me about this, I've not really done, I think, like a jelly roll cookie where the filling is all rolled up like a little pinwheel thing. So I'm thinking I might try that, although I have trouble a lot of times when I'm freezing the dough and it's supposed to be a circle, it kind of ends up being more like a square. So,
Beth, you have any advice for him?
What are you rolling that in? What are you rolling it in? Like when you roll it up, are you putting it in like a mesh towel?
No, usually it's just the saran wrap.
So you need to take that off and roll that in a towel to keep that. You're doing like you want it to be like a pinwheel, kind of like a pinwheel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll help.
All right, I'll give it a go.
There, free advice.
Hey, Kevin, I think we need to go to Cookie Con. Comic-Con.
I'm thinking this is your next life, Kevin.
That's right. And
I think you might want to join in with this org.
I'm retiring soon, so who knows? This could I become the next
Kevin,
fixture
we
at
would
Cookie
love
Con.
to have you at Cookie Con.
That sounds like it would be I would be speechless. I know.
Cookieteer? What do you call yourself?
Cookier.
A cookier.
Cookier.
Yeah, that's a new term now.
It
we
really
love
is.
a new term, and Kevin will be hereafter known as a cookier.
Yes, he's a
That's
cookier.
right. That's right.
Because, cookies have totally changed my life.
No doubt.
It has totally changed my life.
Well, let me ask you about the Food Network, because I watch a lot of the shows on the Food Network, and they have to be, but to me, the judges sometimes come off as kind of snooty. Did you ever want to, smack one of them when they talked about your cookies?
No, so it was Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman, and Eddie Jackson, who's ex-NFL player.
Right.
They were great. They did, so on the first round, it was a hot mess. And Eddie told me that if it were not for the flavor of my cookie, I'd have gone home. Because they gave us 2 hours to make a wooden plank with string art that's with the nail heads. It had to be a Christmas string art. Well, I think that's tacky. I don't like it. I couldn't get inspired. I couldn't get behind it. But the cookie was a maple bacon pecan cookie, and it was so good. And so he told me that it tastes like a reunion that everybody's family wished they had.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was happy with that.
So that was your recipe. It wasn't the recipe that everybody.
Oh, no. So you have to have your own recipes, and you're not allowed to have a recipe book out. It has to be here. So my last challenge was they came out and they said, you have 4 hours. You have to use 2 different types of dough. It has to be a Christmas carousel with 5 character seats, and then when you get done, we're gonna give you a turntable, and it has to spin, and nothing can fall off.
Oh boy!
And I'm like, is this HGTV or is this?
Yeah,
I am not Bob Vila, right?
Yeah, we're not building.
It was a hot mess.
I saw some of those carousels on the YouTube.
When I tell you, I mean, baking. Have you ever been to somebody else's house to try to bake something? It's and you don't know where anything is. I just took off running to the other side of the kitchen, and here comes Mike with his camera. And I said, Mike, we got to go back. I don't know why I'm here. I just ran. I don't know why I'm here.
Well, I love that you pulled out the bacon thing, the southern thing, the secret ingredient in everything.
So the guy next to me made a bacon cookie, and he used bacon bits, and I used real bacon. I was like, you're from Georgia, you know better. Like
bacon bits. No. Are bacon bits real?
No, I don't know, girl.
Are they real bacon, or are they real? Real item?
Are they real bacon?
I'd be afraid to guess, but we'll have to do some research, Carol.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, thanks for joining us this morning and for your insight for our resident cookie maker. Cookier. Carol, always good to see you. And thank you all for listening. Beth Hennington, our special guest, thank you for being here.
Thanks
you were a blast.
Me. Thanks for having me.
So happy. Deep South Dining is a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio. We are funded by the generous contributions from our listeners like you, and we thank you. Our show was produced by Marissa Vaughn. For our special guest, Beth Hennington, Kevin Farrell, my co-host, Carol Palmer, I am Malcolm White. We ask that you now stay tuned for Everyday Tech at 10, followed by Southern Remedy at 11. And please join us next Monday and every Sunday at 9 a.m. for more Deep South Dining heard only on MPB Think Radio.